Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm reviewing another product from Lochby. It is the newest item in their lineup. It is the Quattro. This is the 4-pen case that Lochby launched earlier this year, I believe. Now this is the same waxed canvas material that we've come to know and love from Lochby. Now I'm a big fan of Lochby. I make no apologies about that. I think the products they make are practical, well thought out, well made, from a material I really enjoy, and they really do the job. And they're at a pretty reasonable price point too. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this. I'm going to show it, a range of pens through it, stuff like that, show a couple of features, and then talk about some pros and cons. So firstly, as I said, beautiful waxed canvas. Comes in two finishes. This is the brown, and then the black is like this. This is the field notes cover. You can't quite see it all in this camera angle. This is the field journal cover, sorry. This comes with like a fawny brown internal material. The brown wax canvas here comes with this beautiful yellow orange nylon internal material. It's sort of got this bee's hive hexagonal shape, built into the material, and as you can see, it holds 4 pens. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are not really available pen slots. It is zippered all the way around with a strong, really good quality zip, which is made of nylon to actually stop. It's a plastic zip basically to stop, scratching of pens and things like that. When you're putting them into the case, if it was a metal zip, you'd be more likely to scratch. This is a, beautifully made case. It's got, double sewn edges, and it's got the bar tracking, all that sort of stuff. It's 100% vegan, which is brilliant. And it's got some really interesting design features. So as I said, the zip goes all the way around. On the outside, we have a few little pockets. There's a pocket that runs, the whole width of the back here. A little Velcro patch in it. But when it's in this formation, you sort of got a little pocket there and a bigger pocket on the back, and then of course this sort of pocket on the front. So you could access it with extra pens. One thing I have found myself doing is taking my little Enso XS fountain pen and putting it down in the front pocket there. This case doesn't have room for a notebook, so this is not, going to hold that, but you could, if you had a small enough notebook, you could probably fit something down in the back there. But it does have space for 4 pens on the inside. Now that is interesting because the layout is rather unique. So you've got 2 facing this way and 2 facing that way, and then the way that they're sewn is so that when they come together, they end up interlocking kind of like that. So this pen doesn't, hit straight onto that pen, and also because they're, in these reverse angles, you're not banging parts of your pens against each other, and what it allows for is a much slimmer profile. Now I'm going to show it with a bunch of pens in just a minute, show sort of what fits and how it all works. I've got a range of pens from, once again, the Enso here to the massive jumbo gamma acrylic fountain pen. So quite a little range of pens to show, plus the standard what I would carry in it. The dimensions of this are roughly 4 by 6.7 inches and 0.6 of an inch thick, and then in centimeters that's 10 by 17 by 1.5, and the case weighs 54 grams, if that is a consideration for you. Let's now look at it with some pens. We'll start with my standard carry. 4 pens kinds of pens I would normally carry in this case. Faber-Castell Ondoro, Toosby Vac 700R, Lamy 2000, and the Visconti Homo Sapiens. So a range of pens from slightly shorter pens to nice long pens to relatively sort of thick pens. And we put them in here. So I tend to also not clip them over the edge of the case there. I tend to tuck them in because it's actually quite a sturdy way of carrying it. With this well sewn strapping across the top, it's all very sturdy. So 2 in that side, put 2 in this side. You can clip them over if you desire, particularly if they've got a deep enough pocket clip. But for the most part, I tend to keep them in like that. And then as we zip that up, we see it goes together nicely, stays relatively slim, seeing as though there are 4 pens, 2 on top of each other in this case. And as I said, sometimes then I tuck my Enso down in the front pocket there. So 5 pens in that carry. You could also put, you know, well, let's for the sake of the exercise, let's grab one. I have the still form just for the sake of the exercise and a Muji fountain pen. So you could, if you wanted to, put 2 pens in there, but then they are rubbing against each other, which, you know, not necessarily ideal. So the slim profile is achieved by, it's hard to show through the case, but they interweave. So you've got 2 here and then the 2 on the other side, and they sit, as I said, like that, as opposed to like that. So giving you a, you know, a slimmer profile, which is really handy, particularly with EDC items where you are sort of particularly sort of keen on having, you know, less real estate being taken up in your bag. So once again, I should mention the only sort of real branding on it is the Lochby little tag on the front there, which I think is a very classy tag, and it's got on the zipper, it's got a nice little pull tab there. Yes, sits nice and flat, fits nicely. So it's with 4 pens, and not small pens. Like the smallest one of them is the Lamy 2000. So it's off camera. The smallest of those is Lamy 2000, and that is still a pretty regular sized pen. But the Ondoro is chunky. The Lochby Vac 700 is not a small pen. The Visconti Homo sapiens is definitely not a small pen, and the Lamy Safari is a fairly standard sized pen. So a couple of other pens I want to see, just for the sake of the exercise, is once again we've got the Muji and the still form. Now the still form, because there is no clip. Like this is a clipless pen, so once again it fits nicely in there. You are at risk of things sort of coming out if you hold it the wrong way. That, you know, there's no, other than holding it vertically like that, like horizontally, that's the safest way to carry this. Any horizontal axis, you know, some pens are facing down. A slimmer pen like the Muji fits in there very well. Once again, you could put the clip over, but you know, they all fit quite nicely. So now look at a couple of bigger pens. So I have a Jinhao 159, which is a standard sort of big pen, like a modelled off the Mont Blanc 149. That fits in there, but that is pushing it. And of course the Gamma here is like getting it over that little bit of a clip slide there. And we are pushing it, it's going to be a squeeze, but the issue here is actually the length. So while it fits in size, it doesn't fit the length of pen. And so anything bigger than a sort of a Mont Blanc 149 or the Jinhao 159 is going to be pushing it in this respect. So just for the sake of the exercise, we'll replace it with another larger pen, the Visconti Homo sapiens. And you can see it still, you know, fits together nicely and everything is secure. So this case retails for $34 US from the Lochby store. I think they also sell on Amazon and places like that. So it's not a badly priced case. As I said, it is vegan. So, you know, obviously not leather, things like that. So you're paying for, you know, a canvas pencil case. But it puts it in line price-wise with, you know, things like the Manhattan Portage case, which is a lovely made 5-pen case, but they all sit against each other, and that becomes, while it's smaller in width, it actually ends up being a little bit thicker than the Lochby when it's completely full. A case that I compare it to, sort of, well, not compare it to, but like that you might be familiar with is the Knox Sinclair. So just to give a sort of a size comparison as to what it sort of looks like. But once again, with the notebooks and a few pens, I think the Knox would end up being a little bit thicker again. So Lochby doing a really good job of thinking about their products in terms of, like, as I said, the EDC quality, the weight, the size, the real estate it takes up in your carry. And for $34, I don't think it's a terribly bad price. There are certainly cheaper options that do a similar job, but as I said, this has some nice design features like the alternating sides of the pen so the bits don't bump up against each other, and also the fact that they interweave so that it keeps the profile quite compact. So let's talk pros and cons. So the cons, firstly, I should also say it is designed to fit in, once again, this is the Field Journal, this is the Brown Wax canvas, in the back cover of this, which it does, but the issue with that is that it does end up, you can't see it on this camera angle, but it does end up sort of bowing out the product. And if you've got you know, notebooks and things in the field journal, it might just be a little bit of a stretch, I would think, particularly a full pen case. 2 pens might be, you know, a little easier. The only other thing to also take into account is that the black waxed canvas material here there is a slight warning that like it may discolor your pens and stuff, so just be aware that and so that there's the black waxed canvas version of this as well, that just be sort of cautious perhaps, not to sort of you know, get this wet and that sort of thing if you've got expensive pens in it. Pros and cons though of the Quattro. Okay, the only con I really come up with is that at some point, if you're not carrying it that way, you know, like the ground facing that way, then at some point all your pens are some of your pens are going to be upside down. So if you're concerned about your pen being upside down for leakage or anything like that, you are going to have 2 pens upside down, nib down, in this case if you carry it that way. That's really it. Pros, I love the fact that it's got that design to keep it as a slim profile. It's a strong product. It's protective of your pens. Like, you feel like they're protected. They're not, you know, going to be banged up or anything like that. They're contained. They're in a strong, durable material. It's well made. Like, the sewing is excellent. You know, and the design, it's all taken into account and very considered. Like, the zip is a beautiful quality zip. You know, the sewing work on the inside is immaculate, and that material is really nice, you know, sort of, and durable. It's got good details, like these little extra pockets on the front. You put another pen down in the front there. You've got, you know, little Velcro patches. You've got, you know, simple things like the bar tracking and all those sorts of things, that, and the double sewn seams. All really important design features that are just nice to have. I think it's a good size. Like, it's a comfortable size. It fits nicely in bags. It, you know, travels well. It's a little bit big for a pocket carry, perhaps, depending on the pockets you have. Also, it would end up weighing quite a lot, depending on the pens you're carrying in it. But for the most part, I think it's a really nice size. And also, I think the price is pretty good at $34 American. So check it out. If you're into, you know, pen carry items and all of that sort of stuff, this might be a good option for you. Also, if you're not familiar with the brand, check out Lochby. They have really nice products and some really nice Tomo River, you know, modular notebooks for their field journal, you know, covers and things like that. Well made, good materials, good company to deal with, and really well priced, but, you know, really well thought out. So this was the Lochby Quattro, a really great new addition to the Lochby lineup for all us pen nerds out there who like to carry our stuff and don't necessarily always want to carry, you know, a leather pen case. And they're protected in here, and it's all nicely sort of, as I said, those details make the difference. So thank you for watching. I hope you found this video interesting and useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button if you want to stay up to date with the videos that I produce. Please feel free to get in touch using any of the platforms listed below. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at @the_offstage_me, or you can contact me on any of my videos here, or drop me an email which is listed down below. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, or if there's a way you'd like to support the channel, get in touch and let's see what we can do. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.